Bitcoin is $123,000. There were plenty of opportunities. Before I get into those, I'm just going to tell you 5 mistakes that I made, that you have probably made or will make, so that you don't lose as much money as I did and have to become an insane nerd. Become an insane nerd about the stock market. Now, I walked through bull markets, bear markets, I've walked through tariffs, COVID, and I've seen most of what's been available in recessions and bull runs. And I studied the 2008 cycle a lot. And what I could tell you is there's always going to be an opportunity where the obvious choices become insanely undervalued in price. The Apples, Nvidias, Microsofts, Teslas, Metas, all of these companies at one point were anywhere from 20 to 40% from their all-time 52-week high. If you don't know what that means, you got some studying to do. Now, the first mistake I made with these stocks, as far as investing goes, is margin trading. Margin trading is borrowed money. So essentially, every dollar that I spend, I get $3 extra credit that I can also spend and invest in the stock market. And you must be thinking, well, wow, that's a great deal. It sounds like a great deal until you realize that if the stock goes down, vice versa. Prime example, if I buy something in the stock market and it's $10, right? And I have $10, I can buy 1 share. Versus if I margin it, now I can buy 4 shares. The problem is, let's say those 4 shares go down 10%. I'm not losing 10% on my $10 that I put in. I'm losing 10% on $40 of fake value. So I'm quadrupling the amount of risk that I'm taking on investing with margin trading. And the majority of the time, it's not worth the risk. However, there are specific times where that is a good idea. When the stocks are completely undervalued, when you see a liquidity sweep, when you know that long term it is going to make sense and you're only going to be swing trading it and holding it for anywhere from like 3 to 5 days, or maybe like a big news event, tariffs, anything of that nature could come out. Still super simple. Buy low, sell high. And that sounds easier said than done. So the second mistake that I made was I dove right into options, got absolutely wrecked, blind riding into there. The best way to explain an option is it's like a contract to buy or sell 100 shares at a set price, and you have to fulfill that contract by a certain deadline. So right away, time is against you. And the number one rule with me with investing is that time is your friend with stocks. It should never be your enemy. If you find it to be your enemy, you're in the wrong thing. Now, let's say for an example, a stock is at $50. You buy a call option for a $1 premium and a strike of $55. If it hits $60, right? Mind you, you bought it for $1, but there's 100 contracts, so you're in for $100. Your strike price is $55. If the stock goes up an extra $5, you're going to profit those 100 shares times the $5 increase it went up. So you're going to make $500 off of that investment, off of that contract. And all that you put in was $100. So it's a $400 profit. You put in 100, you got back 500. So you just made 5 extra money. Why is that bad? because time decays, theta, volatility, lack of volume, those can all easily turn that $100 into $5 in the blink of an eye, like you would not believe. And it broke my soul watching me put in my biggest one, $1,000, and it went down to $27. Now, another mistake that you can make is, even if you stay away from options, you still go into day trading, but you have a tiny portfolio. Let's say you day trade with $1,000. Still lit. If you have $100, or let's say $1,000, and you dump it all into Apple, you're gambling everything on Apple. Tim Cook hasn't made a better phone in 7 years, paying $600 billion a year to the US. Apple. That's who you're betting on, making your $10 or your $1,000 go up to $2,000 in less than a year. So many better options. And I like Apple. I'm not even hating on them. I'm just saying that that's definitely not the best pick. Very rarely is Apple the best pick. It's a good long-term hold, but not the best long-term hold, if you catch where I'm coming from with that. Now, don't put all your money into day trading if you don't even know how to day trade properly. You look up some strategy, right? This is the fourth thing. You look up a strategy, you see it online, and you're like, oh my gosh, this guy just made $1,000 with $300 if I buy his course and I study his strategy. Only person I'd say that works with ish is TJR. He's very decent. He's a good teacher. But before you get an education in day trading, you have to start investing your money and not just day trading it right away. You shouldn't learn about day trading your real money. You should learn about day trading by investing in ETFs like S&P, QQQ, CLOI, and paper trading using fake money to learn about these strategies so that you can actually see if the strategy works before seeing if it works with your real money. That's basically just gambling. Now, number 5, this is the deadliest. You chase hype. You buy Bitcoin when it's 123K. You buy XRP when it's $3. You're the person who buys Tesla when it breaks its all-time high. You deserve to get smacked. But Wall Street loves you. You're called dumb money. It's called dumb money. Wall Street knows that there are certain people who wait until their Uber driver or some 18-year-old kid behind the Burger King stand tells them about Bitcoin or Ethereum or Tesla, and they think, oh my God, I should buy. Why weren't you buying these stocks that are hitting their all-time highs? Palantir, Meta, Google, Microsoft. Why weren't you buying them when they were beat down during COVID? Why didn't you buy them when they were beat down during the tariffs? Why are you not doing everything that you possibly could to put money into these companies that you know always catch hype at some point during the year? It makes no sense to me. And a lot of people, oh, well, I have a high yield savings account. I have a high yield savings account. That's cool. But if you have a high yield savings account, chances are your bank is using that money and investing with it. They're buying, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. JP Morgan invested in XRP. So what are we talking about? So you think that your money is just going to be sitting in a bank all safe and everything. It's not safe. It's being invested, put into real assets like real estate, stocks. You're using hedging, you're using options contracts, and you're getting no piece of the pie whatsoever. They're investing your money and you're not getting a piece of the pie. And when you try and withdraw it, it gets taxed. So you actually have less money than you would have if you had just done something else with it, anything else besides leaving it in your bank account. What most people don't grasp is that by the time that you save $60,000 over the course of 10 years, that's $500 a month. The house you wanted that was once $1 million is now $1.7 million. Everything doubles in price. Your eggs are more expensive. The baby food is more expensive. The cars are more expensive. Why are you gonna sit there and take a 4% a year when you could easily just go to the S&P 500, QQQ, SCHD, CLOI, short-term bonds, long-term bonds, anything else but just a bank account? What is your problem? Or you're not even saving at all. And if you don't have the ability to invest any money, drive DoorDash, Uber. It's free money. It's not hard. And a lot of people, I don't have time to do DoorDash, do Uber Eats. There's 168 hours in a week. Most people only use 120 of them. The other are spent sleeping or on their phone. It's just a basic statistic. I know because I've run this number with people numerous times and consistently told them that they've had time to go to the gym, had time to work out with their trainer, had time to meal prep, had time to still do schoolwork, drop off their kid. Whatever it was that they were saying was getting in the way of them doing what they needed to do to become the person that they wanted to be, it ended up just being a smokescreen because there are so many hours in a day that people are not utilizing to get money in some type of side hustle that will allow them to put in $500 to $1,000 a month into the stock market so that in 7 years you could quite literally be worth six figures. Oh, but I don't want to wait 7 years to have $100,000. In 7 years, you're not going to have $100,000 anyway. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other big part about it is you missed out on Bitcoin. Why did you miss out on Bitcoin? Did you miss out on Bitcoin because you weren't paying attention? Did you miss out on Bitcoin because you were scared? Did you miss out on Bitcoin because you didn't have enough money to invest in it? Whatever the case may be, if you had bought or stopped going to Starbucks, for example, you spend $5 a day at Starbucks, tin coffee cost about $10.50. You could have made tin coffee in your house, saved up $5 extra a month, bought Bitcoin. Over the course of 5 years, you would have 9x'd your money. 9x'd. If you saved $10,000 every day over the course of 3 years and bought Bitcoin, in 5 years, you would literally be worth 900. 9 times 10,000. $90,000. Now that's obviously an extreme example, but extreme examples are where we learn the most basic truths about money. So the whole purpose of this video is it's okay to make mistakes, but the biggest risk you can take is overexposing yourself to the market, overexposing yourself to one particular asset, not investing your money at all and letting it rot away in a bank account so that inflation can take your money, gambling with strategies that you have no idea whether they work or don't work. You just saw it in a YouTube short and used your real money to essentially gamble because you don't even know if the strategy works. And then of course number 5, which is, why are we not getting that side hustle? There's 168 hours in a week. Go ahead and use them. You have one life. One. And majority of people do absolutely zero. They avoid risk every single day that they wake up, and all that they get at the end of that is maybe $1,000 a month in Social Security, maybe a pension if they did their job really well. You need to be in a position where you can buy that medicine for your mom if she's sick. You need to be in that position where you can buy that plane ticket when your flight is delayed or there's too many tickets booked and you're just trying to get home. You have to be able to be in the position where you can be not financially free, but financially independent. You need to be autonomous with your money. You cannot rely on your bank to keep your money safe. You cannot rely on a man to do anything with your money, man or woman. Trust not in man, but in the Lord. And most importantly, there's a lot of strategies and stocks that work. My strategy might not be better than this guy's strategy, and this guy's strategy might not be better than this guy's strategy. Most of our strategies aren't better than Larry Fink's. There's so many different ways that you can approach the stock market, but the number one way I always recommend to people when they ask me how I got in the position that I'm in, I always tell them I invested in the ETFs, I educated myself on how to day trade, and now when the market dips down, I'm making money when the market is going down. I hold long when stocks are going up, and I am selling, I'm bearish, I'm making money both when the market is moving up and down. I'm hedging. That is what that is called. There are a lot of strategies on the internet that you're going to see that work very well. The most important part, and I keep saying the most important part because these are all very important parts, it's not the path that you are on. It is how long you stay on that path. You can become a millionaire as an electrician, as a stock investor, as a real estate agent, whatever the case may be, but you have to be insane about it. You have to show up every 168 hours. Every day is the Super Bowl. If you learned something, go ahead and like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell because I do have another banger coming out pretty soon. But just be wise and take a little bit of risk. Not a lot, but just a little. Have fun with the markets. And if I were to give you 4 stocks that would be on my buy list right now, it would probably be for the month of October, MicroStrategy. It would also be Microsoft, Eli Lilly, LLY, as well as QQQ. QQQ is great. It performs 90% of the time in the green during the month of November. So buying in October and holding it until November, that is a route that I'm planning on taking. So I'm going to start giving you guys a little bit of free game at the end of videos so that later on we can look back on them and talk about how right I am. Take care.